Okay, just as an intro, this video and several others that I've already recorded are will make a little mini series, which I will hopefully have named or given a name by the time I upload this, about my struggles with this Trojan virus thing or whatever it is, and I'm not online at all while I'm trying to do that, but I can log on quickly and upload a few videos and log off again. I think fairly safely. Well, I'm not sure. I mean, there's no in a sense there's no real danger because whatever happens, I can always just keep reinstalling the operating system. I can do it now in less than 2 hours. Done it two more times since the last reinstall. I'm getting pretty good at it. I have all the reg files set up, and the long part is just waiting for the disk to copy all the files. So I can think of this as a kind of chronicles of me trying to develop the tools necessary to eradicate this thing from my system, and maybe some interesting things might come up along the way. Okay, so I just thought of a good name for this series. Okay, see you. I'm wondering if I guess I should. I might as well document what I'm doing, because I can't go online. The danger is too great. Although I may have protected myself. I had this video. If I don't upload, say, this one or this one, in here I mention this CSI test, the internal operating system mutant thingy, CSI test, was there immediately after the install, and immediately I thought that this must be something Microsoft has done. But now I don't know that that's true, because the install disk that I have is not a genuine disk. You can't buy a genuine install disk here, and so this might be something that you get a little punishment for not paying the bill. Maybe not Microsoft's punishment, but whoever is selling you this for $1, right? Is somebody that probably doesn't know very much in the first place, and may have made a copy of the installation disks on a machine infected with this Trojan or whatever it is. Now, and that's a question that I can't answer unless I'm online. But as soon as I get online, I'm vulnerable. And it's actually quite dangerous. Now, one of the things that I'm looking for, because now I haven't been online at all. Okay? You gotta ask yourself. I have to ask myself, not only is it, why is it there, but not in favorites? No. Why has it already become active? Uh, Here in Session Manager, all of these things have now changed to the values, which I know are not just the default values. This is not a default, okay? I know that. I looked it up. One of the things that used to always happen to me, uh, and it frightened me, was that I would be looking up things like this to find out what it's supposed to be. And suddenly Chrome or whatever would say, oops, a funny error happened and we've dispatched 1,000 monkeys to fix the problem. Ha 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 ha. Every time, right? And that happened recently when I was trying to find out what the security settings on particular OS files is supposed to be. You know, because I changed one and I wanted to undo that change, and I had to take, what I had to do was take a screenshot of the web page because it wouldn't stay up long enough for me to read it. I probably still have that screenshot. What's that? Yeah, I was trying to find out what the app management security settings are supposed to be, because I had changed it in System 32. No, that them all changed. But, this page, whatever it is, see, I was trying to download it. I didn't get it. It didn't download. But I forget what the actual URL was. I probably have it stored somewhere. Would load up, it's fine, and I'm reading it. And there's nothing happening on this page, and it's just text. You know, like you see, I've selected these things. It's text. Would immediately after about 3 or 4 seconds would switch to an error page, and I couldn't go back. Right? To go back would be to go back to my search. Now that's not a coincidence. That happened to me time and again. Whenever I've tried to find out something about the way things are supposed to be, right? And whoever is doing this is actively watching what I'm doing. That's another thing. Now, my last computer crash happened, but I was offline. No, I don't know. I was getting quite emotional about the idea of being spied on and feeling vulnerable and violated. But anyway, that's the feeling that I have when I'm online. I'm being watched, and not watched by a computer system, but by a human being that is interpreting what I'm doing and making a decision. No, he can't look at that. Right? Now, I don't think I'm being paranoid. Okay? This environment setup, I have to do it again. It has to have been put in here like this after installing msdev. I mean, I didn't have it installed. I have the disk, but I don't think it'll show now. Anyway, there are already some patches ready to be installed on the next reboot. And I went to look up these as possible files, like CWD might mean change working directory. In fact, I think it is. There's a function called CWD in the standard runtime. The standard runtime library. Missed. And I looked for these as files. Couldn't find them. And then I went just to do a search from the root of C. And now I don't know if this means Outpost was one here. Couldn't find it under Windows. There's Outpost. Here. From the root, well, I'm not sure if these are results or if these are just error messages. Okay, but if you look at these paths, application data, application data, application data, application data, application data, etc., etc., etc. And then after enough padding of these application data, Microsoft credentials and so on is too long. Now, I've seen this before. Feeds for United States in a similar type directory, all under Google. Okay. Let's say Google. No, Microsoft. One of them was Google anyway. EU whitelist. But I don't think it has anything to do with Google or Microsoft. Non-critical, too long. These, these I think are long file names that contain at the end of them some files, right? But everything, as I told you before, in Windows, all of the tools available won't use the long file names that are available. You can use them. I use long file names. I use a trick like they're using here for my secret data. Whatever it is, my top secret data. And B, it should show up. Yeah. Okay, now you can't get to the file at the end because the path is too long. You can get there if you know exactly what the path is. Okay. If you keep going, eventually it quits and you can't get to the file at the end. You can get to it actually by renaming trick, and I could try the same thing. It depends on how many subdirectories there are. Like this one doesn't have too many subdirectories because they're all quite long. The subdirectory max length is max path. That is limited. But file name length is not limited. So if there were more than 260 subdirectories, then I wouldn't be able to get to it by the trick of renaming all these. You can rename a directory to the letter A, and you can do that with all these and get to the file. But if there were more than 260, that's the max path of these, then because all these tools are limited to max path, you can't get to the end. See what I'm saying? One of the things that's limited to max path, so I thought, is this file find, the thing that you would need to actually walk through those directories, which is this function, find first file, find next file, which contains a data structure, once again containing something of length max path. But I'm just looking at the help here, and that max path is only the minimum size of this thing. It can be longer. It's a variable length struct. It must be. Whoops. But I don't understand how it could happen. Oh wait, what does it say here? If the file has a long name, the complete name appears in the such and such memory. And the 8.3 formatted, but it can't though. You have to declare one of these structs and pass it to a function. If the file length is 32, it can be up to 32,000 characters, right? And if I'm declaring this on the stack with only this many characters, it can't, grow the stack beyond what I've already allocated and return it to me. Well, it could, maybe. It could. I have to try it on my own directory. Because the thing that's always bothered me is I know that NT supports it, and the real function for doing it is in NTDLL. Here's why I'm looking at these functions, but I can't find any help for these functions because I can't go online. I can't go online because I need to find out this information, and I need to know how these functions work. There's no way for me to find out except maybe going to an internet cafe and looking them up and printing them on paper and bringing them home. That's one way I could maybe upload this video. Or I could go online and quickly upload the video and check to see if anybody can tell me if they're seeing the same thing in their registry. I have to know with certainty that this is not coming from Microsoft, right? If this is coming from Microsoft, then I'm in a lot of trouble for having said anything about it in an open forum, because this is enough to bring the company down, right? This covert altering of data, remotely modifying the files on people's systems without their knowledge to do whatever the company wants, right, is a crime. It's illegal to do that, right? I'm sure there's nothing in the license agreement that says Microsoft has the right to come on to your system over some network protocol and rewrite the operating system binaries without your consent. Even if there is, it would never last the court, right? It would be laughed out of court. So that's one of the answers I need. And then if I can find out, know for sure that this is not coming from Microsoft, that it's some virus that got picked up at the local store, the guy who made the disk, then I know that whoever's doing the spying is just some Chinese guy, or the Chinese government or something, or Cambodian government, or maybe the UN or something. They're always looking. I'm in Cambodia. They have one thing on their mind. I think if anybody who lives in Cambodia is, a child molester or something. So, that's their big thing. But anyway, if it's not coming from Microsoft, then that's fine. I think I'm safe to go online and just keep reinstalling the operating system to get back to square one until I find a way to resolve this problem. Right? Just turning this off certainly didn't protect me from intrusion. I've taken some more steps. I can't say what they are because that would give a heads up to it could possibly give a heads up to the person who was connecting to me. I don't know who they are. I don't know enough about networking to trace it back, to find out where the connection is coming from, or even to know that someone's connected. The reason I know is because I look in here and I see like this program running for no reason, right? I just found out what this is for, actually. Like I said, it came with a compiler. It's the macro runtime thing. The macros that I couldn't get working, right? After installing the service pack. But that somebody else is able to get running remotely, right? Like, after I installed the service pack for MS Dev, the macro stopped working, which means this program is not working for me. And then I just go online and start watching videos, waiting for something to happen. And I go and I check, and lo and behold, this thing is running. Right? Now, I imagine that the patch was trying to disable this thing because it's a security risk. And that's the big warning, right? That there's a security risk in this thing. Well, I don't think there's much of a security risk if I keep it contained and if I keep looking out for it, or if I just remove the file whenever I log on. But that's not the only way in. Once I got rid of this entry point, WMIC was a way in, was the next one. There was a big long struggle. Eventually, I kicked them off my machine, and I don't know if that's in one of these videos, but I had taken out so much of the. I was killing my own machine at the same time as trying to catch this thing, whatever it was, and deleting operating system files. It was running WMIC, which is in System 32. WEB something, a WDEM this, which has all of these are written in a strange programming language. This is Windows Media or Management Instrumentation, it's called. It's a language from which a person can redesign the operating system, I guess. Anyway, they were running this. I blocked that. This was coming up. I blocked that. Then I noticed all of these types of files. I better stop this soon. Now, why is that slow? You see, now that is worrying. Why was that slow? Here's the CLI root thing, right? And it's all different kinds of connections. So it's all networking stuff. Applicable alias, property, client format, where target, the target string defines the object to be offered through on the alias, the string, something WQL query, target property, blah blah blah, right? What could it possibly be for? CLI is something to do with .NET, I thought. Height of physical package arrangement. Now I don't know what this is. It's weird. Anyway, so I was trying to just delete this directory, and it wouldn't let me. A program is using the directory, and I thought, okay, now I've got the bastard. Right? I know where this rootkit thing is. It's somewhere in here, because Resource Monitor wasn't showing any application holding this directory, but I couldn't delete it, and the message was, it's open in another program. And eventually, because I kept deleting these DLLs, the program must have crashed. Because suddenly, where there were 0 processes, there were like 30, right? All of them suddenly were unhidden, right? And then I killing off all those processes and managed to delete this entire directory, and it was gone and wiped out and off the system, and I rebooted, and the operating system would not let me boot up. It's really depressing. It wouldn't let me start because the blue screen said, and a service stopped unexpectedly. I know which one it was. It's the service that, is supposed to support all of this hooking. So I think that's on the disk. I bought an infected disk, almost certainly. That's probably what's going on. Anyway, stop this. Keep adding to it.